qaldayaan markaas qadarisood qiimaa u yeeshay qabweyni yeeshaan haygu qaraarine iga quuso ii maqalantida wadada ku qulqul haygu qaraarine iga quuso ii maqalantida wadada ku qulqul.
Welcome to Integration TV, our first edition of Sheh and Sheko, where we talk about the hottest things that are trending online affecting Somalis around the world. Many of the things that are happening globally actually now happen on the internet. So we'll discuss hashtags, stories, videos, things that are hot and happening in our community globally. Earlier in the show, the girls that you saw singing are from Turkey. They live in Turkey and they study in Turkey. And I was happy to enjoy some time with them and get to know these young people who are from Somalia for the first time leaving the country to have an opportunity for education. And can you imagine, 2,000 of them are studying in Turkey, courtesy of Turkish government. So thank you to everyone in Turkey who's taking part to empower young people to rebuild their minds. Today's program, we're going to focus on something very special and unique that's happening online. It's called a hashtag Adan Studies. It's been taking off, and we want to know why is this relevant in our community, and why should we as Somalis be concerned about Adan Studies. So today we're going to meet Safiya Aidid, who is actually a student, not just a student, a PhD student at one of the top universities in the world, Harvard. That's right, she's in her third year, and she focuses on Somali and Ethiopian history. And she joins us now live from Boston to discuss hashtag Adan Studies. Safiya, welcome!
Thanks for having me, Hodan.
I'm so excited to learn all about this hashtag and what dialogue it's created for our community. So why Adan Studies? This hashtag means basically white studies. So why should we be concerned about this, and what is it?
So it came up when I found a journal, an academic journal, called the Somaliland Journal of African Studies. And looking at it, I read the statement that it was done in collaboration with the University of Hargeysa's students, scholars. And then when you actually look at the editors on it, the advisory committee, the Somali is actually represented. So I linked that to a broader issue of the erasure of Somali people from the field of Somali studies. And I announced, starting this hashtag, we're going to call it Adan Studies on Facebook. And then after some really controversial comments by a German anthropologist named Marcus Hone, it actually took quite off.
So what was the response?
Yeah, so initially people were quite outraged about the journal on Facebook. We organized, this action at 6 p.m. the next day. But the morning before it actually went live on Twitter, a German anthropologist named Marcus Hone, who's part of the advisory committee of this journal, made some really inflammatory and problematic remarks about Somalis and their capacity for scholarship. So, Marcus Hone, because of his comments, actually incited this and created the continued response that we're seeing today.
So tell me this. So there's a journal that's created, and there's an advisory council. There's stories about Somali people, but there's no Somalis involved?
Yeah, not only about Somali people, but the idea is they claim to be doing this in collaboration with the University of Hargeysa's scholars and students. And then when you look at who their editors are, who their advisors are, who's actually being published in it, there isn't a single Somali person at all.
So why should we be concerned about this?
Well, it's the idea that Somalis are being excluded from academic production. It's part of a larger history in African studies where knowledge, is really the production of the West. So this only got more intense actually when one of the advisors of an anthropologist named Marcus Hone, he actually responded and said, the reason why Somalis aren't there is because Somali academics simply don't exist. And so this hashtag really took off in response to that, challenging that assumption, challenging the lack of our presence in academia.
You know what's interesting is that we actually emailed Mr. Marcus Hone, and we've invited him to the program, and he did not respond to us. So in fairness of always providing balanced feedback from our communities, we just like to let everybody know that we did give him the opportunity